Oh yeah, you make such a good blanket ladder, baby. Ooh, 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 yeah. Oh, nerds, welcome back. I'm Tyler. In my last video, I showed you how to build and market to sell blanket ladders. And in that video, I promised you I was gonna show you how to make a jig. That way, if you get a lot of orders, it'd be a lot easier to crank them out. So I did that. Let me grab it really quick. And here it is. So, you know, I know it doesn't look like very much. As a matter of fact, if you were to show this to one of your buddies, they'd probably laugh at you and think that you're working on some really ugly art project. However, this is going to help that production time. So if you're just trying to crank some of these blanket ladders out, I highly recommend building something like this. And that goes for any of the pieces that you may be working on. It could be step stools or cabinets or something. You can build jigs like this to make those production items that you just keep reproducing come out even faster. So I don't want to take too much of your time. Let's jump into the video. I'm going to show you how I built this, how I put it together, and then how to use it. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm just going to lay the ladder down here and just kind of get an idea of how I'm going to lay it out. I'm going to use my speed square to get the angle, which is 25 degrees of the steps. I use that speed square again to get that 25-degree mark, and then I cut it off with a circular saw. And this is just a 2x4 that I had laying around. It's got a pretty nasty twist, so I'm not really going to use it for building much, but I am going to use it as a sacrificial board for stuff. So this is a perfect use for that. I make a second mark. This one's 90 degrees, and as you see, it lines up perfectly with the previous cut. And I'm just going to keep on cutting these guys until I get 8 of them. Here's how I'm going to use those angled cuts. If you haven't, I recommend you watch my previous video. That way you can use the already built blanket ladder as a template. Here are the 8 angles, and then 6 3/4 inch, 6-inch long, and 3/4 by 1.5 inch long pieces. It's just scrap I had laying around. The thinner the better, that way it doesn't take so much room on your board, but this is the layout. So the small pieces up top are going to hold the legs from sliding up and down, and then the longer pieces are going to hold the legs from wobbling in and out. I'm going to be using Titebond 3. This is my go-to wood glue. You've probably seen it in a bunch of my videos. But I'm going to put a healthy amount on this little spot here, and then I'm going to grab the other one. I'm just going to rub them together, and I'll put them in place. I would recommend leaving a little bit of room between the jig pieces and the blanket ladder. That way, in case your legs are really warped, you'll still be able to fit them in there. And I used 1-inch nails to just basically hold them down while the glue cures. And here you can see the kind of the gap that I put in between those pieces. Then I'm going to lay down my angled cuts. Same idea. Make sure you follow the orientation that I just showed you for these pieces. That's the 25-degree angle to support the steps. And it's the same idea. Put glue on, rub it together, and then slide them in place. Keep a little bit of a space, again, just in case your boards aren't perfectly straight when you go to put them in the jig, and then nail them in. You can screw them in too if you want, or use a hammer and nails. Just little brad nails is what I would use, about anywhere from like 1 inch to 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches maybe. But that's really it, you guys. As it comes to the construction, after this I'm going to cut a little notch in the side here after lining up one of the legs. That way I have that angled cut documented basically, and I can just slide one of the new legs up there and then draw from underneath to get that angle. I also wrote my materials and cut list. That way I always have instructions around. I don't have to dig them up. And it's really this easy. All you have to do is just slide it into place, drill your holes, and then screw the screws in. I left the entire video basically intact to show you that I didn't really screw anything up. It really helped out. It was really nice. 2 tips while this video carries on here. 1, make sure that your legs are slid all the way to the top so they hit those stoppers. And 2, make sure that your boards mirror each other. So the cupped sides face each other, and then that the beveled cuts on the bottom also are in the right orientation.
And that's it, you guys. Really easy. I think total cost was $9 for the particle board. If you had to buy another 2x4 to cut up and use, it would probably cost you $13 or $14. totally worth the saving frustration in my opinion, and the time savings that you get from having a jig like this. But if you're still watching, I just want to take a moment and thank you guys. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share, comment. If this video provided some sort of value, I really appreciate it. It helps the channel out. But thank you guys for hanging with me, and I'll see you in the next video.